This piece of bread, my mom was holding this in a bag. We were like looking at apartments to like live in after we were living with my uncle for a couple of years or a couple of months. And we were looking for an apartment to live. And I remember telling my mom, like, Mom, I'm so hungry. I'm so hungry. And she looked at me. She was like, no, you're not. I was like, nah, Mom, I'm hungry. And she pinches me on my arm. And I remember looking up at her and she's like, you're not hungry. Come to find out later in that day, this is all we had to eat for the family of 5.
Wow.
And this is in like Bay Area, California in 1998. Like this is not like yesterday. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So this is for a family of 5, me, my 2 brothers and my parents. This is all we had to eat. So at that moment I understood like, wow, like I am not hungry.
The Playroom podcast. Don't panic. It's organic.
You can hear yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, this was a random. Well, I can't even call it random because it's definitely a manifestation. You know how much I wanted a podcast, kind of talk about this a lot, but they needed a host. I thought I was perfect for it. We did an interview and here we are.
Nailed it. Congratulations. Nice.
Yeah, they the concept so far is like my friends and I chatting. We do a little snack review. We share some snacks together. We share food recommendations, but the most important is just telling your story, telling your journey. And that's what we're here for. Like for me, I think it's so important to have this commemoralized in a point in time. Like we're going to be able to refer to this when we're old and be like, look at us young lads, like chatting about a point in time.
It's crazy. I still look at old photos like from Flow Factory in those times and I'm just like, man, there were some great moments there.
It was some great moments. So for context, Bajro and I were business partners in this venture where we had a creative studio in Hollywood. We were really moving like crazy big bosses.
Yeah, you know what's crazy? Like sometimes I can't fathom that, like that was real life. Like it took us like from here to like here in like days.
We painted our own mural. We decorated the whole spot. We were on the same lot as The Weeknd and Jenna Ortega.
Raymond Simone, that's her name, right? She was her neck of, what is it?
Did you say Raymond Simone?
What, is that her name?
Raven.
Oh, Raven. I don't know. But she was the next door neighbor.
No way.
Yeah. So like literally when you walk out of our office, right across from those little gray ones where we were sitting eating right there.
That was Raven Simone's office?
She left literally the same month we entered.
No way.
Yeah. Raven's World was being filmed there too. That's why I was there.
We were a part of an iconic filming studio and we had our own like wonderland in there.
Oh, I just like, and I drove past it the other day and it's just dead.
I drive past it too sometimes and I'm like, this is so sad.
We were the light there. I feel like we were the highlight of their lives.
We had fashion shows that had the line like running around. We had events.
Fort gas station.
Oh yeah. We had events packed to the brim. Like,
yeah, that was crazy.
But every part of the journey is so important. Like I know that era taught us so much and it's being poured into our current eras. I haven't seen you in like a year.
I know, that's crazy.
And you've been having like a 180, 360.
Upside down, up, down, left, right, everything.
Yeah. You're a very interesting character.
Thank you.
You're insane.
I'm just at the point in my life right now, like I'm really the main character for myself.
I love that.
Like if I decide to eat what I want to eat, how I eat, I'm going to do that. If whatever I want to do, nobody can tell me anything different. And that's something I've been really focused on is being alone, spending more time alone. Like it feels so weird at first, but once you take the pressure off of like asking somebody, oh, what do you want to eat? Thinking for them and then kind of going against what you want to eat. Now I don't have that anymore. I go eat by myself. Even if it's the same thing from yesterday, I can care less. I know that's what I want to eat and that's what I want to do to achieve my goal for the day, for the moment, for the week, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like, remember how much we used to have that stress? It's like, oh, all right, where are we going to eat? You couldn't recommend the place. They couldn't recommend. I could eat because it's
that's just so real.
Yeah, you got to step away from that. Like, eat alone. Even if we decide to go eat, hey, I want to eat this. You want to eat it or not? that's up to you. I can care less.
Yeah.
And don't take it personal. I have goals. Maybe,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? And we all have dietary restrictions to some degree.
Yeah.
But just to let them know about Flow Factory, it did not fail. Like, people think or might be wondering, well, why aren't you guys doing this still? It didn't fail. We decided to end it, especially on my end, because I knew I wasn't being myself there. I was creating something that wasn't me. That wasn't my original plan.
Yeah.
It got to the point where we were just doing whatever we wanted to do there. And it became that, and that's not what we wanted in the beginning. We had a beautiful setup, beautiful idea. We just didn't execute it the way we wanted to because we were caught up in so many things. Things were happening too fast for us. Like, it was all new for us.
Yeah. By the second month, we already had every weekend booked out.
Yeah.
And it was insane. I mean, something that you learn dealing with so many people, like outside people, like when you have a guest, right, coming for a show, is everybody is not going to be like you.
No.
And we had, remember that like really, like the rock show or I don't know what that
was. Mosh pit.
The mosh pit. Bro, this guy threw a punch at my friend.
Oh my,
threw a bottle at her. You weren't there.
Oh,
security came. I'm telling the guests like, hey, like, we can't have this here. We will refund you or do this and that. And they're like, no, we're going to keep playing. And I was like, and it's literally little me, my other friend, like we're all just little girls here.
Wow, I can't believe it.
And they revolted against us.
And here's another thing too. The person that recommended the place was a friend of ours.
Yes.
So it's just like, wow, we were doing our friend a favor of not doing our due diligence of, going through everything, getting references and referrals and past, venues they went to. That's something I don't do anymore. Like I separate my friends, helping out my friends, because it does hurt you some way, somehow. For example, we helped him out. Look how much it hurt us.
Mm-hmm.
We had the most pathetic thing got done. Like people were graffitiing like their little names in the bathrooms. Like, bro, what are you in third grade? Like,
I know.
What are you doing?
Like none of us own this land, honey.
Yeah, like so pathetic. Like, but that's just another thing too. Like really, really push the issue on like not I know it's friends, but separate friends from.
Yeah.
Look at your circle. How much has it changed?
So much.
Exactly.
So much.
And one thing, like I promise you, like I don't care anymore, Dre. And I said this respectfully to you and everyone here. I put myself first.
Yeah.
I just cut off my best friend for 20 years.
Wow.
Because I told him like this: if you can't be the kind of friend I am to you, I don't want you to be my friend at all. If you can't, I'm not going to settle, because if I eliminate you, it takes the pressure of having to be your friend. I can open up that door, that space, energy for somebody else to enter my life.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. And you won't believe who I've been hanging out with so much.
Yeah. Who have you been hanging out with so much?
Ish.
Oh,
we were at the studio last night.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's nice. See, I think for you, it really is important because you're very like business oriented, like work, like you really are dedicated to the grind and like you've gotten it out the mud, like you really do your shit.
Right.
But sometimes when you're so locked in one avenue, you can kind of forget about the creative. And I'm not speaking just for you, just like in general, like as humans. And I think for you, it's so important to have like that creative friend near you, like just to always remind you that you always have that creativity and that childlike spirit that lives within you. Like our friend Ish, like he's not a little kid, but he has that like childlike aura and the playfulness
of, innocence in him too,
Yes.
A lot of people lack that these days. Somebody told me the other day that LA is so fake, and like they've been in LA for 5 years. And I'm like, LA is so fake. Everyone just wants money and this and that. They have alternative methods, or what is it? Alternative motives. Alternative motives. I'm like, no. Like, who are you hanging out with? Like, the people I've been with, they've been nothing but great, like yourself, and I'm just like, man, like if you allow that energy and that's what you think about, that means you're like that. Or you're genuinely allowing that to happen to you. Because if you don't nip it in the butt immediately, cut that off.
Yeah, absolutely. People, I feel like it's something I talked about in a previous podcast where it's like when people show you who they are, just accept it and move on, or stay there, but don't start complaining.
And accept them for who they are, because that's what you choose to allow.
Exactly.
And when they do something that's uncomfortable or strange or weird for you, you chose that.
Yeah.
They didn't surprise you out of nowhere with that.
Yeah.
You chose that. You knew that they were the type of person to always show up late, not ever pick you up when you need that ride. And then you get all of a sudden upset and surprised. No, you chose that.
Right. You didn't pick up on the signal.
Or you didn't even acknowledge it to the person.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody told me, oh, set the example of what kind of friend you have to be. I said, no, I'm going to be me. And if they don't pick it up, then I obviously know that they're not sharp enough to understand.
Yeah.
Like, it's very simple. I've been surrounding myself around like different people with different ideas, and I've been a little bit more expanded. One of my friends, she just introduced me to something crazy. Like it shook me. Like I barely slept that night. She showed me how to like understand your dopamines and how to re-trick them and how to like reprogram them.
Okay.
And I was like, this is nonsense. Get out of my face. Like, she's like, no, let's break it down for you. I was like, okay. First thing, a couple of things we did, we put time limits on our social media. It's like 30 minutes, right? She said, watch, next time you're on social media and this kicks in 30-minute limit, you're going to be like, whoa. And I was in bed. I was like, whoa, like it was 30 minutes already. That's crazy. And I was like, oh my God. And I got up and I was like, wow, like my body felt so different.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, okay, like what do I do now? I'm not going to sit here aimlessly for 2-3 more hours.
Yeah.
So I just walked around. I went outside and walked. And I was like, okay, like, let me start doing that rather than being on social media for a couple of hours or whatever, just killing time, aimlessly scrolling. And then I started, doing a little bit more research, and I started realizing I have dopamines for negativity, excitement, rather than positive excitement.
Oh, that's a really good thing to like learn about and recognize.
Let's do an exercise.
Okay.
This is going to blow your mind because like it brought me almost to tears. That jacket is really stupid on you. Versus, Drea, that jacket is so beautiful on you. Which one felt more comfortable for you? Like truly, the negative one or the positive one?
Okay, honestly, like the positive one.
That's good. For me, it was the opposite. It was like when somebody said something negative to me or about me or what, that felt more like I could accept that versus somebody saying like, man, you look so handsome today, or
oh wow,
you're glowing. And I'd just be like, why would you say that? Like, what do you mean? Like, I wouldn't accept it. Versus now, if somebody tells me you look good today, I like your outfit, I accept it and I embrace it as in truth. Even if they are lying, I accept it as truth because that's what they spoke, not what they thought.
Yeah. And
so I was like, and then I noticed more people compliment me on my mannerism because I allowed that energy to come to me versus like, even in traffic or somebody's honking the horn, I don't let that faze me anymore.
Yeah.
So when you learn how to like understand what your dopamines, the good and the bad ones, and you replace it with strictly good ones, life is different. Like, I hate waking up early in the morning, and I hate going to the gym in the morning. I hate it so much. You know what I did?
What'd you do?
Stop waking up early and started going to the gym at night. Why would I put that stress on myself?
That's true. You have to figure out what works for you.
Right. I'm a night person. I like to operate better at night. I'm more creative at night, not in the mornings, not early in the day. But, sorry, let me cut this off. Oh my God.
What happened?
So many messages, dude.
Oh my God.
I swear. For this, I was like, somebody please call me.
You just manifested it right now. I know this isn't what you were referring to, but I know like you got out of a long-term relationship.
Right.
And you told me like in passing, I haven't seen you in like a year. So you told me in passing, like you've kind of just been taking a break. Right. Just in general.
I call it as like, I came up with a term, I call it jaded, like for myself. Like I'm jaded right now. No girl, no other person, human, nobody can penetrate me right now for the negative.
Yes.
Like, I don't care. Like, you can't say anything to upset my mood. And coming from me, like somebody will look at me the wrong way. I'm rolling down one, like, what you looking at?
Crashing out.
Yeah. Now I just like, man, I can care less. Like, I'm on a whole nother wavelength in life. Like before, like, I mean, you saw when we had the office, like Flow Factory, like girls were around all the time. And like, But now,
living a crazy life. Like I'm just thinking about it. It was just insane.
yeah, and I was just like, you know what? Like I'm at the point of my life now. It's just like I love myself so much because I really like practice my self love, and it's like a whole nother level. Like I promise you, like I like blocked all my DMs, so I don't get DMs no more.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I deleted everything on social media.
You've kind of like decentralized women from, or like
Completely.
yeah, like love interest or anything.
Yeah, just because I told myself I'm gonna. So I told myself, okay, I'm gonna do 100 days, staying away from. I can say whatever I want here, right?
Yes, it's an adult podcast.
Okay, like staying away from girls, porn, masturbating, even like lowering my gaze at women. Like when I see a woman dressed inappropriately, like lowering my gaze. Unless she's fire, like and she has a nice outfit on, then like I love fashion. I gotta acknowledge, like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's a cool outfit.
Yeah, and you always know me to be real, like comfortable around women. Like I've never been uncomfortable around.
Absolutely.
Women. You know what I mean? So it was always been easy for me to talk to women and just be around, especially beautiful women, you know? So once I decided, you know what, let me love myself instead of get clarification, or what is it called when you want people to approve of you? Come on, Dre, you're the one with all the answers.
English isn't your first language.
No, it's not.
Right?
Yeah.
That's why you're blanking out.
Gratification, is it?
Oh, gratification works.
But is that the word?
There might be another word.
There is another word. Justification.
Approval?
One of those. They can figure out at home. Whatever they can figure out from the book.
And oh my God, no, I'm like having trouble with this right now.
Is it it's not instant
gratification.
Instant gratification. It's not that one. It's just I don't fucking know. But anyways, instead of looking for that from women, because that's what I needed.
Yes.
Because I already had the lifestyle, I already had like a solid business, I already had a group of friends, but I wasn't stimulated with love through women because I grew up in such a masculine household, like where you had to be a tough guy.
Yeah.
Like you're a little bitch if you show emotions, or if you cry, like, or if you think something's pretty or something's cute, or like, you know, like if you show the slightest emotion of weakness, you know what I mean?
Like any emotion was considered a weakness.
Anything except like anger.
Anger.
Yeah, like,
I studied that actually.
Yeah, like
so it's very common in a lot of cultures to do that, to like basically normalize anger for men, but then also kind of demonize women for showing emotions. And it's like, oh, you're too emotional. But it's like, no, men are emotional too, but they get taught that only the angry emotion is acceptable. Right. But for women, the emotion of anger isn't the acceptable one. It's like if a woman shows anger, it's kind of like, oh, like she's a bitch, or like she's tweaking or whatever, you know?
It's not feminine. It's not pretty. It's not, it's not ladylike.
Right. And that's why a lot of issues happen between men and women, because different sets of emotions are normalized. But no, we all need the freedom of expression. Like at the end of the day, we are human, and we should all find ways to express everything healthily, you know, but continue.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So once I learned how to adjust my dopamines, and I've learned to like be selfish and, you know, accepting only positivity and only focusing on what's in front of me, not what's behind me, and it's not what's not ahead of me. My life has changed so much. Yeah. Like, oh my gosh, like so much. I remember I always kept pushing the issue to like, I want to go back to the Bay. I want to be around my friends. I want to flip these houses. I want to do all this.
No house
did all that.
In the Bay Area?
I did all
or
that.
You did it.
I did it all that, and I'm so happy I did it. It solidified these thoughts and visions I had in my head are not real. Reality and these thoughts and this imagination like I had in my head is not real. So when I went there, I did all these things, and it was nothing what I expected. Yes, we did the flip house, all my friends. What I had in my head is like, oh my God, we're going to do this. It's going to be so fun. Like this, the movies, like TV, like all my friends are going to be around me all the time. We're going to be hanging out all the time. Yes, that was like that in the beginning. But then reality kicked in. You know, people have lives and this and that. And I was just like, I don't like this. Like, but where I'm going with this is I had this idea built out in my head. Once I get here and I'm doing these things, I'm going to be so happy. My life is going to be perfect. I'm going to, you know, I'd be so, everything's great. Well, I got there and it wasn't.
Were you successful in the house flippage? Like you flipped it, you sold it, you got the bread.
3 months. Like, I mean, I
Wow.
tell you, it's $158,000 profit from my side, and my partner was the same, and that's 3 months.
Wow.
And we only worked actually 8 weeks of actual labor. We lost almost a month because of permits.
Yeah.
And I cut off my finger, but it healed back.
Your finger grew back.
Yeah, I'm serious. It cut off and I had to go to the hospital and they had to stitch it back on.
So you were
they glued it back on. I'm sorry. I seen
in
pictures.
the field, like actually physically flipping the crib.
Yeah. Like I had a crew and everything. We were managing and I was like in there doing labor and like, you know, I did the designs and everything. But
It just didn't bring you happiness.
it didn't, because what I imagined in my head was not what I wanted.
Was it high stress?
No.
No.
It was like, it was seamless. Like, it was just so like strange to me, like, you know, but the idea I had in my head, like, it's going to bring me these emotions and these things. It didn't. But this is what I realized. That was me at one point in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I'm at a different chapter in my life now. I've been exposed to different elements, different people, different areas, different lifestyles, even different like wealth classes. And it opened up my eyes to so many different things. So now I'm at the point I'm like, well, I have all this knowledge now. Do I really want to go back to flipping houses? No, I'd rather do ABC, make less money, but be 100 times more happier.
Yeah.
And I was like, I realized my happiness is so much more valuable because the people I was, you know, around, they all had money, but they were so miserable. And I was like, oh God, like,
Yeah.
that's not me. I don't want to be like that. And it's cliche as it sounds, money does not buy you happiness.
It really doesn't.
Like, I remember, you know, we would do the simplest things. I remember we were sitting at the curb one time reading a book and we were just
I
so
remember
happy.
that.
Yeah, like we were so happy. And there were times we were out like going to fancy places to eat and just hang out and, you know, driving cool and looking cool.
Yeah.
And we had the same sensations.
Yeah.
Just because it mattered who you were with, you know. Nothing against my friends in the Bay Area. It's just like I'm in a different chapter of my life.
Yeah.
I like being a little bit more lonely. I like being a little bit more alone.
Yeah.
A little bit more selfish with my energy, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's okay to be selfish.
I heard you mention that you went out with a group of friends the other day, a group of guy friends, and you had a interesting experience.
Yeah.
What was that about?
So, for me, I'm on a different chapter in my life, so I observe everything a little bit differently, even to like what I consume with my food, with my eyes, even with my ears. Like I could look at everything completely differently now. There's no more if ands, or buts about what I'm consuming. I know what I want and what I need. So I got with my friends and great guys, like, you know, amazing. But the whole time I was like, hey, that girl over there, that girl over there. And I was just like, bro, like, did you bring me out to like bring more women to our circle or a table, or like, or did you bring me out because you generally want to spend time with me? He's like, no, bro, but it's just been since a long time since we went out. I was like, but think about that. Why has it been so long? Because I'm in a different chapter of my life. Like, I'm not that playboy anymore. I'm not that rock star. I'm a self-loving human being that's okay with being alone and chasing my happiness, even if it is alone. I'm so lonely, but I love it.
Yeah.
I'm in my own thoughts. When I get lonely, hey, let's meet up. Let's do this, But it was so annoying to me that they kept pushing the issue of like, oh, look at this girl, look at that girl, this girl. And I'm just like, bro, like I'm not trying to look at women as an object, because that's what I was most of my whole life. You know, growing up in Eastern Europe, men would always like stand around and like watch women. And I was just like, that became normalized. So when I was working with you and then the other girls and we stepped out and I saw that happening, I felt anger and I felt fear too. I felt like so disappointment and disgusted with humans, like especially men. And I was just like, damn, is this what you guys go through? I don't want to contribute to that. Like if I have a wife, I don't want her to feel those emotions.
Yeah.
If I have a daughter, I don't want her to feel those emotions. And I'm just like, man, like I can't imagine somebody looking at my loved ones like that too.
Yeah.
I got cousins that are female and I was like, whoa, like, is this what they deal with? So I said, I can't change the world, but I can change myself.
Love that.
That's the only thing I can focus on right now. So what I started doing was lowering my gaze, you know, even on like, if you go on my Instagram, like my feed is like,
let's see that feed. That's the truth teller right there.
Look, let me show you right now.
Let's see that explore page, buddy.
Look.
Okay, it's looking clean from here.
Nothing.
Workout, food, maybe a little bit of memeage.
You know what I'm saying?
No booty shaking.
Never. just want to get sexy like that next year.
There you
But
go.
it's all self-love. Like, I don't even want to put that into your world. And then
Yeah.
I had a couple of friends, you know, your circle do really like encourage you, influence you so many ways you might not even know. I had a situation where people were sending me reels, sometimes funny, sometimes stupid, sometimes aimless. So I was like, hey, stop sending me this stuff.
Yeah.
I don't need a laugh from social media. I need a laugh from real life.
Yeah.
You know, I can get that by just going to the park and looking at flowers or watching a dog play or seeing a couple be in love or
I
just
love that.
live my best life or go watch a movie. I don't need you to send me these funny reels. It's okay, but like I don't need 3-4 every hour. Like, bro,
Right.
And then if somebody would send me something that would really like infuriate me was when they send me like another girl, like, oh, yo, check this out. Check out this girl. She's so beautiful. And I'm like, bro, like, don't you got a wife and kids?
Oh,
What's wrong with you? Like, how would you feel if she was sending you or sending her friends pictures of other dudes like, oh, look at this guy? Or I'm like, bro,
that shit's weird.
That's so weird to me. And I'm like,
man, you know what's crazy? This was making me think of your story about how like you went out with your homies and you're like, I'm just trying to kick it. Like, I'm not here to fucking lure women to our table or whatever. I saw this guy. Well, I saw a reaction to this video because that other that's for somebody else's timeline. Right. But a guy went online and was like, I know that women go out to the clubs just to reject men. And I'm like, hun, you think we'd spend 2 hours doing makeup and finding a cute outfit to reject men? We're here to kick it with the homegirls and take cute pictures. But people.
But let me call you out on that. I get it, but I also get his point too. Because I
guess everyone has a different experience. And I really can only speak for myself.
I've seen all aspects of it.
That's true.
I've went out to places just to reject girls. I'm telling you, there's a sensation you get. Oh my God, it's better than anything in the world. We're just like, nah, I'm good. And I'm doing it so much now because it's like my dopamine is like being more like loving myself that I don't need nobody else anymore. And so it's just like, I get that kick, even when it's not necessarily rejecting a woman, but it's rejecting a negative act of like looking at a girl or whatever. And I remember it was actually yesterday. I was at Ralph's with my friend. I was like, come on, man, I'm not trying to eat out. Like, let's go cook because it's good for your soul to cook food.
Absolutely.
And we've been eating out so much. And I was like, come on, bro, like, let's cook some food. Like, you know, like we said this year, we're going to be a little bit more cautious with our time and our energy. And like, especially with our food we consume, let's go cook. So we go in the grocery store and there's this like girl, she's walking past me and my friend just stops and he's staring at her. I'm like, come on, bro, like, don't make it so obvious. He was like, oh, like, I just really like her outfit. And I was like, well, go tell her that. And he goes up there, he's like, oh, I really like your outfit. And she's like, oh, like, thank you. Like, you can kind of see she was kind of like thinking he was going to go the next step of like ask her for her number or whatever the case is. And my friend is a stud, like 6'3", African, like super handsome, like deep voice, like very handsome dude.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, thank you. And she's like, oh, like, thank you. Like, and he was like, okay, have a good day. And he walked away. And she followed us and for the next hour. She's like, hey, like, you know, you just told me my outfit's nice. He was like, yeah, like, you know, I just want to let you know you have a nice outfit and that's it. Have a good day. I appreciate you coming out and taking care of yourself because I know that's not easy. And she's like, wow, like that's the first time it's ever happened to me in my life. And I'm looking at her like, wow, that's so sad.
Yeah, but that's so real.
I know. And it's just
so
like
fucking real.
To the point she was even hesitant to engage in conversation in the beginning because she thought that was the alternative. What is it again? Alternative.
What is the alternative motive?
Alternative motive.
Is there another word?
No, it's alternative motives.
No, it's another. Is it alternative? Like when someone has a different motive?
So what do we? She said earlier was something. Oh yeah, but that was something else. But alternative motive is.
That's the right term, right?
Yeah, alternative motives. Like he said, he reached out to her to say you have a nice outfit, so he can come in with, oh, let me get your number, versus just just telling, oh, you have a nice outfit. Alternative motive. His motive was
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nailed.
Who gave us podcast, Mike? Like who the fuck gave us podcast?
2 non-primary English speakers.
Like, literally, English is not my first language either.
That's so fun.
I think this is a good segue into like your upbringing as well, which you kind of touched on.
Yeah.
Something that I know about you is like, you're a war baby.
Yeah. I was born and raised in a war, genocide to be exact.
Insane.
Yeah. So, I was actually on New Year's, I was with my dad and I started asking him about these stuff because I was like, I never really asked my dad. I talked to my brother and he would tell me like the stuff he's experienced.
Yeah.
But I've never talked to my dad. And I started asking him questions and he got real weird. Like, bro, like weird. I got
some real deep trauma.
He got up. He was like, what? I was like, what? What is this? Like, I've never seen you act like this.
Yeah.
And he like became so like aggressive and angry. And I was like, damn, you got some trauma back there, huh? But then I was just like chill out. Like, what's wrong with you? Like when I'm not here to like, he was like, when I was in the war, nobody touched me. And then, I'm stupid. Did you kill anybody?
Oh my God.
And he tried to beat around the question.
Fucking talk about that.
Of course he did. It was like,
yeah. Like he was,
but it was like, I just wanted to see if he was man enough to tell me. But that's
insane. But you were like born in the bathtub type B, right?
Yeah. So I was pretty much born premature 1 month. I was born in a bathtub because during the war, my mom was so stressed out from the,
the war,
and like, they were telling me like we couldn't go to school because kids were getting blown up on the slides. Yeah. And they would steal the kids. Like you can Google this stuff. They would steal kids, wrap them up in barbed wire and then roll them down the hill to see who can go further. It was crazy, like crazy.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I was like, wow. But, I'm very thankful because my brother made a good point. I was like, how come it didn't seem so bad for us? He was like, well, you got to understand, we knew nothing else but war growing up. But if you know what you know now in real life and you go back there and you see the stuff, you'd be like, whoa, shit.
Yeah, you can't survive that shit. Like your brain isn't even cut out.
Your whole mind and aspect of things is completely different. But yeah, I mean, like my parents did a good job of sheltering me from a lot of those things. My dad was a mechanic in the war, so he was able to, work on a lot of cars. So when people were in gun battles or whatever, he could fix the guns or the cars or the tank or whatever it is, and then they'll go back out. And that allowed them to like pay him in goods like water, food, and bread and stuff like that. Yeah. Oh my God. So that was kind of nice because my dad was known as like Mr. Fix It.
Yeah, Mr. Fix It. Yeah. So, and how old were you when you came out here?
So I came here when I was 5, turning 6. And it's crazy. I remember my first word in English.
What was it?
That I learned in school. I learned frog.
Frog?
Yeah. I was in there and I was sitting down in class, like my eyes, I was sitting in the front row, like looking at the word frog. And I was like, all right, what is that? And my teacher taught me and I sat there for hours. I remember I was sitting this on my little blue square. Remember the little rugs with the colored squares? Yes. I was sitting in my little blue square, looking at the word, looking at the picture. So I can't wait to go home and tell my dad.
My dad a frog.
I got home. I used to walk like 3 miles to get home. I ran home. I was like, Dad, I learned the best word and I learned a new word in English today. He's like, what you learn? What you learn? I was like, I couldn't remember. I couldn't remember anything.
Oh my God.
So embarrassed.
So what's frog in Bosnia? Is the language Bosnian?
It's Bosnian, but it's like Hrvatski if you want to like translate it. Like Spanish is Espanol.
Okay. So
if you really want to get technical.
So how do you say frog in your native language?
You say žaba.
Žaba.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, don't ask me no more because I'm forgetting some words.
So you don't really have the language anymore.
I do. I just not as sharp.
Yeah.
But
you don't really use it.
Right. Yeah. I remember one night I was laying down in bed and I was like thinking in my head, I was like, okay, I got to talk to my mom. And I got to tell her some stuff and blah, blah. And I was trying to remember a number, like the number 9. I couldn't remember it. I know, I learned it in Spanish, English. Yeah. I couldn't remember my language. I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. I had to Google it.
Damn.
I was like, this is crazy. Just a number, Yeah. I was like, wow, this is crazy. And then I forgot some of the alphabet. I was like, this is not good. Like,
I feel like this is such a good time to try the snacks that you brought me because you told me that you brought me Bosnian snacks.
So I stopped at a specific store here in LA that has food from my region, which is Bosnia, Croatia, and Serbia. Yeah. It's like we're very similar. They just split up. Like,
yeah, you know how that goes.
Yeah, but it's like a lot of the foods are the same. So I brought some things that I want you to try.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you
we're going to put a quick pause on this and then we'll go bring it.
All right, I got a couple of things for you.
Okay.
We're going to start with this one.
Okay. He knew the rules because he was like, we're going to start with the salty ones and then go sweet.
Yeah, because for me, I can't mix my sweet and my salts.
Yeah, that's weird.
That's like, I understand that as people eat their dessert and then have their food, bro. That's so strange.
Can't do that.
That's crazy.
Unless you're on your deathbed.
Also, people that don't know, I'm actually Muslim, so I don't eat no pork.
Me either. I'm not Muslim, but I don't eat pork.
There we go.
Yeah.
This one even easier. So this right here, where's the camera? This right here is called sudrik.
Sudrik.
Yeah, and it's smoked beef.
That sounds bomb.
Yeah, so we're going to have this one. We had another one like this before a while back because they didn't have this one. So let's see if I can make this open. For anybody wondering the macros.
I actually am. So I've recently gotten to like, not even recent, but it's been like the past year where I do like count my stuff. I'm not always in like a calorie deficit. Right now I'm trying to be.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yes.
My Bosnian snack plate.
Yes. It looks terrible, but it is. But trust me, it's delicious.
Oh my God. Smoked beef.
Yeah. It has a little kick
so
to it.
excited to try this.
So the reason why we ate this so much is obviously you can tell it's on the go. You can take this on the go. So during war, you throw this in your backpack and you're ready to kill somebody. Maybe not say all that. So let me run that back. So the reason why it's prepared like this is it's easy on the go. So during wartime, if you had to evacuate or you had to, go on a mission or whatever, or you're hiding out or whatever the case is, this is very easy to like run with.
Yeah.
Carry.
It does look like chorizo. But I'm glad it's not pork.
Minus the pork.
But
they got beef chorizo, right?
I think they do. Yeah, they do have the soy one. You want to pour me one up on a plate?
Yes. Let me say chorizo.
Chorizo. You low-key know Spanish.
Yeah, I've kind of been staying away from it on purpose. I should just take all of it. Try that.
Yeah, and then you can try yours.
Come on, bro. You got to get one too. Some chorizos.
Producer in the building. So there is a man behind the cam.
Take two. Yeah.
That you guys don't see, but he helps all of this magic come together. So everyone in unison say thank you. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
We love you.
And thank you for this. Are you going to try it with me?
Nah, because it's... All right.
Because it's what? Are you going to poison me?
No, it's because you took the knife. I don't want to throw you under the knife. Under the...
You didn't want to throw me under the knife? Yeah, we'll try it together. Look.
It
smells good.
It does. Are you guys ready?
Cheers.
The whole thing.
No. So big.
Simple.
Mm-hmm.
So most people from our country eat very simple.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't do all the sauces and all that. So
no, but this has so much flavor. It's like it's kind of like a proper version of the beef sticks.
Subtle, right?
I give that a 10.
When you have guests come over, they'll cut a bunch of pieces out, like they'll do it as a serving platter. You know how people do like salami and stuff like that. So we'll do this version since we don't eat pork, with cheeses and maybe little crackers, or instead of crackers, we use little bread pieces.
See, that's what I've been missing in my life because I love a charcuterie board, but I don't eat salami. So like this is gonna be so perfect for my next snack board.
Yeah, little things.
I could take it, right?
Yeah.
Like after? Like you're not gonna take it, right?
Yeah, just take this piece.
Let's see what else you got for me.
All right. So before we get into the next one, this is how you can tell if somebody's your friend and somebody is a real good friend.
Okay.
It's details.
Okay.
Yes. But before we get to that part, let me explain this to you. Actually, let me run that back. This is how you can tell if somebody is a friend that's just a friend or somebody that's a friend and pays attention.
Okay.
So this is called chicken spread.
Okay.
but this will make somebody a better friend. I know Drea likes spicy.
I do like spicy.
I brought the spicy move. You see? Man, producer, where you going?
Like we needed you at this moment.
But let this be a little moment. Like, you know, it's so crazy. It's so little.
Yes.
But you know in your heart, like I thought of you in that moment and I didn't just go through the motions. Like I went there and I was like, listen, I know I necessarily don't like spicy as much as Drea does. And Drea is a little bit more braver. Okay, a lot more braver on trying new things than I am. So let me get her something a little more curated for her.
I love that. Thank you so much.
And this is chicken spread and it is halal. So a little bit more enticing.
What do you mean by chicken spread? What part of the chicken are we spreading here?
So it's literally just, let me read the ingredients. It's not, the reason why I eat this is because I'm very picky with what I eat. Okay. This is literally just chicken that's like been blended up with
Beaconol, y'all. Beaconol.
Chicken broth. Or it says mechanically. You're the one that can read here. Here, yeah, take the spicy one.
Let's.
But I want you to try it both.
Okay. Spicy
Make
chicken.
Sure you cut that out.
Spicy chicken. Let's see. 9 grams of protein. The macros aren't great on this, but
that's okay.
We'll have a little.
Oh my God, they're terrible.
They're kind of bad, but it's okay. It's okay, you know.
Just 26 grams
of bad
fat. Oh my God, but it's healthy fats.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll be fine. Okay. I'm going to open it.
Don't even think about it. Just open.
I don't think about it. I don't even care.
Oh, before we get into that, let me tell you about the bread.
This is like...
So, you remember how I was telling you, like, you know, I came here at a young age?
Yeah.
So, we were poor, like, when we came here. I'm talking about, like, people don't understand poor until they understand poor, especially coming from a war zone.
Yeah.
So, this piece of bread, my mom was holding this in a bag. We were, like, looking at apartments to, like, live in after we were living with my uncle for a couple of years or a couple of months. And we were looking for an apartment to live. And I remember telling my mom, like, Mom, I'm so hungry. And she looked at me and she was like, no, you're not. I was like, nah, Mom, I'm hungry. And she pinches me on my arm. And I remember looking up at her and she's like, you're not hungry. Come to find out later in that day, this is all we had to eat for the family of 5.
Wow.
And this is in like Bay Area, California in 1998. Like this is not like yesterday. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So this is for a family of 5, me, my 2 brothers and my parents. This is all we had to eat. So at that moment I understood like, wow, like I am not hungry.
I'm not hungry.
Yeah. Like I'm not
fucking hungry.
So that's why like,
wow.
And you know what happened to me in my last relationship too? Like that was a trigger for me. That was trauma. She never understood that, nor did I understood it was a trauma for me too until I learned that by myself. Okay. I remember one time we were eating and I never eat breakfast just because I always eat when it's necessary when I'm hungry. I don't necessarily eat in the morning and I only eat lunch and dinner. So, and she's from a part of the world where breakfast is a big thing. Like breakfast is like, you know, especially Latin countries too.
Yes, absolutely.
And you get the big plates, you get the whole 10 yards.
Mm-hmm.
So she does all this and I'm like looking at her like, man, that's a lot of food for any human. She's like, no, but it's breakfast. Like where we're from, that's how we consume it. We go all out on breakfast. And I'm like, man, like I can't even eat all this. So I'm eating a little bit and I'm like, damn, I'm not hungry. It's because I trained myself over the course of my whole life not to eat breakfast. Like you're going to go to school, eat your school lunch. And then after school, you're going to go home, eat whatever the parents make. We don't have that luxury of eating breakfast.
Yeah.
So she never knew that. And I never told her about it. So I can't blame her for not understanding. But then she was like, oh, like you never eat, like you're so skinny. And I'm like, damn, like, instead of saying that, why don't you ask me why?
Right.
Why aren't you eating? That's another thing too. Like you should really emphasize on asking people why.
Yeah.
Why? But I didn't realize that was a trauma. I would put fear in my heart like, oh, don't eat breakfast because, you know, you might not have lunch.
Yeah.
So I was like staying away from eating breakfast and, you know, for many years of my life.
Your trauma response, literally.
Exactly. And for her to attack me, she was like, oh, like you're so skinny, like you're this. And I was like, damn, like that hurt, you know, like.
Yeah. And I think just any commentary on someone's like physical appearance like that, like you got to tread so lightly with that. If not, just don't do it.
And it's also not, it's not what you say, it's how you say it too.
Yes,
She
that's
could
a
have called me
really
skinny, but
big
she could
one.
have been like, listen, like, I would be happier if you ate more because I'm concerned about your weight.
Yeah, yeah. And it's she could have literally even kept weight out of the question and just asked you like, hey, do you not really like eating breakfast?
Yeah.
Like, why don't you like to eat breakfast that much?
But that's something that's very important. You got to learn how to communicate, because if you can't learn how to communicate with somebody, it's scary. And asking questions is hard sometimes, but you also got to understand, assuming is even harder.
Oh yeah.
Like if you make the
Yeah.
wrong assumption, I'll tell you a lot about that stuff. Let me cut this over for you.
Yeah, cut that bread, man. My chicken spread is gonna get cold. It's already cold, guys. This isn't meant to be warm. So it looks like hummus. They grounded this down to a pulp. Okay, like this is.
It looks exactly like hummus.
It looks like hummus. It smells fine. Like it literally smells
I'm
fine.
telling you, it's this. I used to survive off this. My grandma used to make this or buy this and then the bread. And I remember one time my grandma, I was like, Grandma, like, let me get some bread. She's like, no, like you're eating too much bread. Like, and I was like, no, Grandma, like I love bread. She's like, oh my God, it's not the fact that you're eating a lot of bread. You only eat the inside of the bread.
Oh my God.
It wouldn't be a bread like this. It'll be the big giant loaves. So one time I remember my grandma, like she went to grab the bread and she put on, it was completely hollow and it escaped.
You know what's funny? I would do that with you know what birotes are, right? It's like the Mexican bread, like to make a torta. Yes, I think.
Oh, he knows.
Can we bring up a birote right here?
You put that up there.
Let's fact check the birote. I'll show you what that is. Oh, that bread looks really good.
Yeah,
I really appreciate you sharing this with me, and I really like that it's like not just because I told you to bring any of your like favorite snacks, but you brought something that has so much meaning, and like that's why I love making foodie content.
Oh, exactly. But
I would just eat the inside too and leave the outside all up.
The size of my like size of my torso. And I would eat that whole inside. That is very similar. And I would just eat the inside. It was so hollow. So she would push it down and look like a quesadilla just flapped.
She just was like, you left the fucking outside of the bread, bro.
All right, Mr. Producer, come on over here. Grab some of this too.
He's like, I don't know about that chicken spread.
Nah. He don't know about this one. He gonna be bringing his lunch.
We're breaking bread over here. I think I'm going to just dip mine.
Yeah, that's how I normally do it too.
Okay.
It's like a...
We'll make sure everybody at the table has some.
Be generous. Oh, that's a generous amount.
Pretty good.
No, just grab it. Like, you got to caveman that style. No, and also too, like, another thing is too, don't worry. You throw these in a backpack and you just move on. You put it in your pocket when you go to lunch or to school or whatever.
Yeah. And these probably last a cool minute, right?
Ever.
All right, guys, taste test with the chicken spread. And I got the spicy one. Shout out Bajro for knowing exactly what I like.
Try that. So simple, right? I wish the bread was toasted. Then it'll be another level. And then this is like when it's room temperature. I'm telling you, it's childhood, my childhood.
It low-key tastes like hummus, but like chicken hummus.
I don't like hummus at all. So
really,
it's weird that I love this.
Slightly gingery. And it is spicy. I love that. Like, I'm loving the spice. Oh, yeah, let me try them.
Maybe you can...
Do you want to try this?
Yeah, let me try this.
It's not like too spicy.
It's like Vienna sausage. That sounds like pork.
That sounds like pork. Vienna sausage sounds like it's pork.
Did you like it?
Good.
Some people, like I have friends that like, they couldn't even fathom eating this.
I'm fucking with it.
I think it's the texture. The texture looks a little hot.
Yeah, if you had it... Oh, wow, that is spicy, but it's like a good spicy.
It's more like...
It tastes like bell pepper.
Spices. You know what I mean? Not like chile, but like spices.
You can really taste the chicken on that one, right?
Yes. The spices cover it up on the other one.
Enough of this time. Oh, we need the bread for the next thing. I'm just
we
excited.
Need bread for the next thing?
I have a sweet tooth, so that's why I'm trying to rush through this.
What's your next item?
Okay.
I like this. I'm with all this action. Like, this is genuinely my palate. Like...
Subtle, right?
Yeah. Is the next thing sweet? Yeah. This is what I love about food in general, because it brings such a connectedness, especially when it comes from being from different cultures. Like, you just took me into your world through the foods that you brought. And a reason why I started to really push my food content is that I noticed, like, when I go to Mexico, my family's giant and chaotic. There are some siblings that don't speak to each other, that low-key hate each other. There's inter-family beef, but where everybody gets along at is the kitchen.
Oh, wow.
And it doesn't matter if so-and-so doesn't talk to so-and-so. Everybody always pulls up with a pot. Like, we always do potlucks. Even if there's people who are in disagreements or whatever, when we get together, we would get together at my grandma's ranch and everybody would bring a plate of food.
Contribute, yeah.
Everyone contributes. Doesn't matter how mad, doesn't matter who's not fucking with who. It's just, we're going to still get together and eat, you know?
That's crazy. I've never done things like that with my family.
We have a huge family.
Not me.
My mom has
crazy
11 siblings, now 10, but...
You know, during, recently Thanksgiving just happened, and I was talking to one of my friends, and she comes from a very tough household, I guess you could say. Her dad has problems, her mom has issues, just like my family does. My parents aren't together, her parents aren't together, and we're just kind of talking, and she's my best friend's wife, and they have 2 kids.
Okay.
And I was just applauding them, like, I'm so happy, like, you guys are providing a safe space for your kids to experience Thanksgiving, because I went there for Thanksgiving. And I also told him, like, I really hate how your family is not here and I'm here. She's like, what do you mean? You are family. I was like, I know, but like, wouldn't it be nice, like, if you had to go to your parents' house and they were still together and this, and I could go to my parents' house and have all this Thanksgiving, like the movies and things like that.
Yeah.
And she said the most beautiful thing to me. She said, you know what, Bajro? We are creating that for our kids.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, like that took all the pressure away of having that thing. I'm going to create that for my kids.
Yes.
Me and my wife to have our kids come home for Thanksgiving with their partners and their grandkids.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, like that was my new motivation rather than trying to fix whatever happened in my family. I'm like, okay, instead of fixing what happened in my family, let me understand what happened and let me make sure it doesn't repeat itself. So that's where I'm at right now. Like, you know what I'm saying?
No, that's the one. We really are breaking generational curses with all of the knowledge that we have. Like, it is so valuable that we have the privilege and time to read books and to meet all sorts of different kind of people, because you bring in all these different aspects and then you can really create that life that you really want.
But it's okay. Like, something I learned too, like, even if it doesn't happen, it's okay.
Yeah.
You know, 'cause sometimes you have a plan in your head, like this is how it's going to be. This family occasion is going to be like this. This person going to treat me like this. And if it doesn't happen, it's okay too. Like, don't have expectations of people or even situations.
Yeah.
You know, like my last relationship was really like probably the most important relationship I've ever had in my life, because she taught me so much. Until this day, I applaud her. I don't speak ill about her. I don't hate her. I hate myself for some of the things I did, but I'm learning to forgive myself every day more and more, because that is important too. I've made mistakes, but I understand why I've made those mistakes and why I repeated those things. And now I'm in a different era of my life where, like, hey, like, fix yourself and really heal. Like, I know that sounds so pathetic to me. Like, even saying that out loud, like, oh, you got problems, you got issues, you need to heal. Like, you're a grown man. Yeah, like, you do need to heal. You do have problems. You do have issues. Fix them. Because the last thing I want to do is go into another relationship or rekindle an old relationship and have the same mentality, same mindset. And even worse, I grew up in an abusive household from my mother and my father, mentally and physically. And that's the last thing I want to have my kids experience and give them. Of course, I'm going to discipline my kids, but not necessarily with physically.
Yeah.
So, you know, I always tell my dad, like, I hated you for all that, you know, to this day. You know, we're good now. But he was like, I had no other way. I had no other, you know, sources of, how would you say it? I had no other.
Like no other option.
Yeah. Or like, I didn't know any other way.
Yeah. He didn't know any better.
Yeah. He didn't know any better. Because like, that's how my father was. This is how his father was. And I was like, man, that's so pathetic. But you know what? I'm not going to be like that. Yeah. I'm going to be different. I'm going to, you know.
No, I feel that, you know, I may have spoken about this before, but I also grew up in like a household where my parents were split and my dad was the one who had inflicted a lot of the chaos, right? On my mom, on my siblings. By the time that I was born, they were separated. But over the years, from then until now, definitely a lot of resentment in there on my behalf, of course, because he just wasn't the best, you know?
Right.
But when I turned like 19, I had this one day where I just felt forgiveness for him. I didn't feel anger for him anymore. I almost felt bad. I felt bad because I knew that the things that he had done were just things that were done to him. And he didn't know a life other than anger and violence, you know, and addictions and stuff like that. And it's like, I didn't need to be angry with him. You know, what he did in the past wasn't okay. And his behavior isn't excused. But at the end of the day, we are all human. And the only thing that we could do is focus on being better people. I may not have had the same struggles as my dad, but that's why I won't be able to ever fully understand why he did the things that he did, because I didn't have those struggles. And like, but I have my own things.
Experiences, you know, different times, different things.
Yeah. Cause I know from little stories that I've heard around, I know his dad was a certain way. And it seems like my dad just emulated the same behavior.
Right.
And he was also the oldest. And like, you know, within your hierarchy of like siblings, everyone, sometimes it's the youngest, sometimes the oldest, sometimes it's the middle, but everyone has these different attributes and different weights that they need to pick up. And I think certain things just fell on him and he repeated his cycles, you know?
Yeah. But you know, something, like I hate when people say a cheater is always a cheater. That's not true. Like people do change, you know, like, and it can be in the same second they did something wrong. 'Cause that's what happened to me. Like I didn't believe it until it happened to me. You know, I had this really bad breakup, and the last time we'd seen each other since, you know, a year ago, it was a really bad breakup and left really bad. But as I was leaving and walking back to my car, I was like, there's something wrong with me. I am sick in the head about something. I have something wrong with me. I am the issue. I am the problem. I need to fix myself. And in that moment, I changed my whole life. Like I took everything. I changed my apartment. I changed my diet, my lifestyle, my circle, everything. I went alone for like 3 months. I spent time alone, like genuinely, sincerely alone. Like it was weird. I was really alone. And then, so when people say, oh, people don't change, yes, they do. Like your father might, you know, like my dad. I don't want to speak for him, but I'll speak on my dad.
Yeah.
He was a raging alcoholic and drank a lot most of his life. And he would always get drunk and hit me and my family and my brothers. But then, I don't know, he just changed just like that. Like, stop drinking. So he started like doing other things, like started drinking alcohol beers and started doing other things to help with the alcoholism, you know? Yeah. I was like, where's all this coming from? And I was just like, well, I get it. Something in his life happened that changed his whole life instantaneously. What it was, what it is, I don't want to know. I don't want to investigate unless he wants to share it. But people do change. Something traumatic can happen in your life for the better or for the worse.
Yeah.
Like something crazy. But before we go on, let me tell you this one real quick. I'm trying to take this price tag off so they can see the whole like packaging. $4, just in case everyone's wondering.
How much did you spend total? Give us the tea.
I think like $40.
$40? Wow, that's a good chunk of change.
But you gotta understand, this stuff is imported too. So like you got the import tax and all the.
Sheesh.
Yeah. But whatever, like, you know, life.
Thank you.
Of course.
I really do appreciate it.
Okay, so.
That looks like a Duvalin.
Can you mind your business for a second? I got a cool intro for this.
Give me your intro.
America has Nutella. Europe has Euro cream. And to show we're not racist, we got both.
Oh my God.
Am I gonna get canceled?
I don't know, Bajro. See this guy.
Listen, everybody, listen.
Man.
Nah, man, that's my personality. Let them have that one.
Oh God, I don't even know what to say.
But have you ever seen this?
No. Euro creme.
Yes.
Euro creme.
So this, we don't have Nutella out there, so we have this, where I'm from at least.
Okay.
So it's 2 flavors, and this is like nuts. So.
But it's like Nutella.
Yeah. Yeah, it tastes like Nutella. I think it's just more, what's it called?
I'm so excited to try.
Yes. Here, cut some more bread. Producer, you know the drill. Bring it in.
Bring it in, team.
And this is for everyone wondering, like, why am I touching the bread like this? My hands are very clean. I'm such a germaphobe and neat freak.
Yes, you are a very clean person.
Let me try the white one because I haven't had this in years, so I don't even remember what it tastes like.
Okay.
Here.
Oh, thank you. Euro cream. Creme. Euro creme. Euro creme. Why is that such an adorable like word? Okay. Okay. We're going to try the light one.
I remember as a kid, I would, maybe throw it in the microwave for like 5 seconds so it's very creamy.
I just had a part that broke off. Okay, vanilla.
Wow, this bread is so dry.
This bread is dry.
Oh my God, this is horrible. You should have toasted it.
The bread is dry. But I get the picture.
It's good, right?
I get the picture. Now let's go.
The way I would eat it is it would be slightly like you. I don't know why I left that in the fridge, but that should stay outside. So it's like peanut butter, you know, the texture.
Chocolate.
Come on, producer, get in there. Try to
With our dry bread.
commit to the whole experience.
Yeah, you do. Sorry, buddy.
Take you a tour to my small village.
Oh my God. Wait, do you ever go back?
I haven't been back in a few years. I just don't feel the need to, I guess.
No.
Try both.
No.
I think that's everything for them.
Yeah. That bread is hella dry. But the little dip, it literally tastes like
You want me to take that?
a Duvalin. This
Yeah, you can clear that. We're done with
yeah.
say that later.
But I'm gonna make a snack board at home with this.
Yeah, do it. It's, cherish the moment. All right.
I'm so excited.
There's this one right here.
Mikado.
So let me tell you about this. This is not my favorite.
Okay.
The reason why I got this is because this is what came with grandma. So when somebody's grandma or older generation person, like the older people would always gift this to the kids. You're like, oh my God.
I want no Mikado.
They're like, I don't know. Oh my God, man. Like, what is... It's because it feels big and there's always a lot of kids.
Yes.
But it's kind of good, you know?
Okay.
It's not too much, but it's pretty much milk chocolate with rice.
Okay.
It's pretty good.
That shit was $10, y'all. I saw the I got it $10.
Imported, remember?
Yeah, damn.
Ooh.
Have you tried the Dubai chocolate?
Yeah, man, the other day.
I haven't tried it.
It's whatever.
What's tea?
Honestly, like, it's hype. That's all it really is. Here, take
You like pistachio? This is a lot.
Okay, but let me tell you, don't eat it the way normal people eat it. First off, eat it the way I eat it. Oh my God.
Okay, well, how do we do that?
You got to eat it from the side.
Like,
Yeah.
but like here?
Yeah, exactly.
Or like this?
No, don't eat it like this. Like, just eat the white stuff because it's too much chocolate. So eat the rice cakes.
Okay. I feel that. I'm not a huge chocolate person, but we'll try the rice. Okay.
Producer. Get in there. So, when I was a kid,
This is so much chocolate.
I know, right? I told you that's why, because I don't like the hot chocolate too much either. But when I was a kid, I used to scrape off the chocolate and just eat the rice.
That's some shit I would do.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did. This is too much for me.
Respectfully.
Like I'm saying, this is the worst of the worst. So when the grandmas are bringing this, you're like, oh my God, bro.
Rice, chocolate.
What's the American thing when they the fruit salad? Nah, not fruit salad.
Oh, not me, honey. I'm not that American.
No, I love fruit salads. No, the fruit cake. Is it fruit cake when they have it like in the attic somewhere, or you know what I'm talking about?
A fruit cake in the attic?
Or
No.
in the closet somewhere or something. Bro, you gotta show us this.
I know.
I've always seen it in the cartoons and everything.
Fruit cake in the closet, Bajro. That's your...
Yeah. You never seen that? Look, you never seen this in the movies?
Wait, but what do you mean the attic?
I don't know. Like that's what there was stories somewhere. Like yeah, look, oh my god.
It's nasty that like they have it hidden.
Yeah. There it is. See, I'm not crazy.
Damn.
You say it's so nasty to have it hidden. But yeah, like if you look at cartoons or movies, they always have this in the attic, and it's like a gross.
I'm like, see, I'm just first generation, so I don't really know about this side of town.
I've never seen that in real life, by the way.
Yeah, I don't want to. I don't want to see that in real life.
All right.
Oh man, but we are damn near. Oh wait, what's that?
Hold on, we got one more. This is a sneak attack.
A sneak attack?
Yeah. So this one is actually, I didn't bring you this one, but somebody gave this, or one of my friends opened up a coffee shop, like 10 minutes from here.
Yeah.
And they had this chocolate, and I guess it's like a local artist that does photography and chocolate. So I was like, all right, and I like sesame seeds. So this has sesame seeds. So we're gonna give this a try.
Yay! Oh my god, you really
And
came in with it.
Yeah, and this is vegan and organic.
Love that.
So the package is very pretty. Look at that. Oh, just
I have to ask you.
nice and gentle.
I know a lot of your food preferences and choices.
Yeah.
But what would you consider your favorite restaurant in LA?
My favorite restaurant, for the food or for the, like ambiance or just overall.
Overall, you can name a couple.
And I hate to say it, but I would say Catch LA.
Catch LA?
But
I went for the first time. Vegas.
Really? It's not the same.
Ah,
But let me tell you why though. I have a sentimental attachment to it because the first time I came out to LA with all my friends, that's the restaurant we ate for her birthday. And I remember like her hitting the little hit me thing for her birthday, and I just stuck with me for so long. So I went there a bunch of random times and I feel that same sensation again. So every time it's somebody's birthday, we go to Catch LA.
love that.
And then me and my last girlfriend, I just
You start crying on camera.
oh no, this is gonna be horrible. I can't really tell.
It's dark, huh?
Oh my god.
Hopefully you didn't shout out the company or brand.
Oh well, they need to work on that. Like,
And look, to each their own. Everyone has their preferences.
yeah. I just
I'm
want
like scared.
Me too.
That shit look.
Wow, it's really dark. You can smell it.
I hate dark chocolate.
Well, take it.
But thank you for bringing.
I just honestly wanted a piece of the sesame seeds. I didn't even want it.
Where are the sesame seeds? This don't look like sesame seeds. Oh no, it's got like almonds.
Oh, it's bad. Don't even eat it. I wouldn't even put you through that. It's bad.
I'm gonna do it.
Oh my god,
I'm a trooper.
You're brave. It tastes like coffee without happiness.
Oh,
Oh god. Try this. Try this. It's so bad. You ate a whole piece.
no, I'm not count. I bit it to get the flavor.
Hey, did you ever tell?
I don't know what to do with
Let's
this.
spit it out. It's so gross. I can't even watch. I was like, am I getting red?
That was bad, bro.
Let us rephrase that. It's not our cup of tea. I know there's some people out there that like this. I'm not a fan. Come on, we want to see you get grossed out.
Shit, so bitter. So bitter.
I want to see his reaction.
I'm like, I'm still gathering myself from the trauma I was just put through.
Try this one too.
That'd be a good chaser. But
Oh, he brave. Oh my gosh.
I don't mind dark chocolate.
Oh, take the whole thing. Put it in your pocket. You know when your grandma used
that's all you, man.
to
Ugh,
Oh God.
golly gee. They'll have to
I had the littlest like bite too.
would you mind pouring me a slice of salami?
Yeah.
It's not salami, I lied. Of beef sauce. Like I need to chase. Oh my god. Okay, guys, everything is getting. Should I? This looks a little scary.
Thumbnail. That looks so bad.
Stop! I'm gonna turn away.
You gotta give it a full experience.
Here, put it back.
Put it
I
back.
needed to cleanse my mouth of whatever the fuck.
Yeah, that was bad. You went in. But there is a couple of things I did want to share with you too that that happened in my past. Hopefully, I don't know how much time we got left, but I kind of want to share with you so you have more.
Sure.
I don't know how much you're gonna chop up into this, but something I learned, and the only reason why I've been on this like jaded journey is because I haven't healed from my last relationship.
You haven't.
No, I have not.
Okay.
And I understand that. Like, I'm still sad some days from that. So once I can learn how to be happy on my own, then I can start looking for somebody else. That might happen today, that might happen tomorrow, that might happen next week, whatever it is. But at this point in my life, I just know for a fact, and anybody else too, like, don't go looking for somebody else until you're comfortable being alone. Because you're going to think you're going to need somebody else to make you happy. And when that person doesn't do everything exactly and perfectly the way you have an expectation in your head, you become miserable.
Yeah.
You look at that person completely different. And that's what happened to me in my last relationship. I haven't healed from my last relationship before that one because she completely corrupted me. So I'm going to tell you about this one.
Yeah, okay, so I was fully present for his last one.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
I didn't
every
know.
moment, the terrible and the...
Like, I traveled with them. I took her stuff out of his house when she had to go. It was a whirlwind,
And
y'all.
had secret conversations behind my back.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, but you told me later.
Yeah,
It wasn't bad. I'm just
it wasn't bad. Don't.
They were trying to surprise me for my birthday.
Yeah,
It's like I'm trying to make it seem like you're a monster.
I'm like, no, I didn't. But I don't know about your relationship previous to that, which I know definitely had an effect on.
Oh my gosh, it was the start of my like trauma in relationships because, you know, and I'm gonna be very like blunt, transparent. I went from being one of the most popular kids in school, playing sports, like going to clubs at a young age. I had a fake ID, so I was, you know, around older people that introduced me to older lifestyles quicker. So I matured very quickly, so I knew how to behave around women quicker. I had so many partners in my life, unfortunately, which is so disgusting. Don't think that's cool. You kind of get desensitized to like certain things in life because of those things. So when I got into a relationship that I was kind of like, I was like, okay, like this is gonna be a real relationship for me. But I was so desensitized to a real relationship because I was so used to dopamines of like women wanting me and doing whatever I wanted and what I needed and all about me, that when it wasn't like that, I kind of was like, man, I'm on to the next one. Like this is not working for me. It was so quick. But I actually, you know, grew so like attached to this girl at the time that when that was happening, I would go out and do things and then come back and then, you know, I would have this weird energy about me that I didn't believe in until I understood it now. So the way I met this girl, I was on tour and I was in Medellin, Colombia, and my mutual friends met her mutual friends, and she tagged along with her group of friends, and then we all hung out. You know, we all went out, and me and her just didn't talk at all the whole time, until the last second we were all leaving like dinner, and I was like, oh, like I like your shoes. You know, she had some cool shoes on. She's like, oh, like thank you, and that was the last bit we had, and then we go back to the Airbnb. We're all hanging out, like good time, and you know, me and her just kind of like had a little bit of conversation. Then, you know, like she was like, "Oh, I live in LA." I was like, "So what are you doing here?" She's like, "Oh, I'm just visiting my family." She was like, "I was like, oh yeah, I live in LA too. Like, let's definitely connect when we get out there." And we did. We didn't meet on social media. We met in real life, which made me feel more sentimental. And also too, like guys, don't get fooled by sentimentalism stuff in relationships because that's all fluff. It doesn't matter how you meet somebody. Because it's like I was attached to the idea like, oh, I met this person in real life. I was attached to the idea more than I was attached to her.
Yeah.
I was holding on to that
story.
Exactly.
You like the story.
Yes.
Like
that made me feel good. Like it made me feel like, oh, I could share my story of how we met. Versus like, oh, we met on social media or we met on dating apps.
When
or
that
whatever.
Just isn't the important part.
It isn't. It isn't. It doesn't matter how you met, through who you met, and where. None of that matters. The most important thing is your guys' souls and minds aligned, and you guys got lucky and blessed enough to meet. That's what you should focus on. So when people ask you, "How do we meet?" in the best way possible, and leave it at that.
Yeah.
You don't need. You know what I mean? And at perfect timing, because everybody comes in your life for a reason.
Yeah.
Some good, some bad. Also, so I was so attached to that, and then you know, in our relationship. I don't know if I told you this, but like she ended up getting pregnant. And I was,
by you.
Yeah. I was like, oh my God, like, all right, I gotta take it. We're serious. Me and her were dating for a year at this time, you know, at this point. So she ended up getting pregnant. She's like, okay, like we need to do these things right. she was very mature and grown. You know, she's like, we need to do these things right. Please follow along because this is going to, people are going to be jaw dropped. Like, this is going to be crazy. She's like, we need to do this. She was like, we need to do this right. Like, we need to go to Miami so you can meet my sister. And then after Miami, we need to go to Colombia so you can meet my parents, blah, blah, blah. Her parents are stupid, like rich, like super connected. There's the reason why I'm telling you this. Like, I'm talking about, like, I was scared for my life at sometimes. I'll tell you why. It gets bad. So there's probably 2 people that know this story, like this whole story. Like, I'm gonna just share with the world because I feel proud of it now because I grew from that. You know, at first I was really embarrassed and kind of like thing. So whatever, she's like, we need to do this right, blah, blah. We need to go to Miami, blah, blah. So we plan our trip, like the 2 weeks to go to Miami. She has a miscarriage.
So sorry.
We'll figure it out if she'd be sorry or not.
Oh,
Yeah, it's bad. So I was like, and she sends me a picture and she's like, hey, like, I'm at the hospital, like, I had a miscarriage. I'm like, but why didn't you call me? I will go with you. Like, she called me after she left. She's like, I didn't feel like you were there for me. And I was like, damn, like, that hurts so much to hear. Like, you know, like I thought we were going to have a child. I wasn't worried about the miscarriage because that's God's plan. I have no control of that, but I have control of how I made her feel. And I didn't make her feel safe. I didn't make her feel protected and all this. So I was like, all right, like, it's cool. Like, don't worry about it. We met, like, we still go to Miami. And this is during Ramadan. So people don't know Ramadan is like, it's a Muslim time where we don't eat from sunrise to sunset. Nothing past the lips. So no water, no nothing. So me and my 2 friends, Kyle and Hex, we're like, all right, let's go to Miami. I got to meet her family because we still, you know, want to meet and continue our relationship. So keep in mind, I've been fasting for a month and I'm in LAX and we're going to Miami. We get to Miami, we're still fasting, me and my boys. Like, no water, no nothing. And, you know, that's a grueling, like, travel time. We didn't have to fast, but I didn't want to make that day up again. So whatever. We get there. I remember we get to the airport and then we get to our hotel, which was on South Beach. And we were going to eat at the Versace Mansion, which is like a 5-minute walk. But I was like, guys, I need some water. Like, we can break our fast and then we can have dinner with her and her, like, sister. So we drink some water and she's blowing me up. Like, where are you? Like, we're here. Like, where are you? I'm like the reservation's for 10 o'clock. Like, I'll be there. Like, you know, like, it's 9:45, you know? Like, and I'm like getting ready. The guys are getting ready. We get there and I get there. I'm like, where you at? Like, she's like, oh, like, we'll be there in 15 minutes. I'm like, why are you pressing me, like, to be here if you're not here?
right.
Like, keep in mind, I'm infuriated right now. I was like, okay. But I also came from a background of, like, being the dominant one, the boss, the decision maker in the relationship. So I told her, listen, if you're not here at 10:30, don't come. No, I actually asked her, I was like, how long till you get here? She's like, 5 minutes. So I was like, all right, so that's going to be 10:30. If you're not here at 10:30, don't come. 10:31, I told the waitress, can you change the table to 3 people instead of 5? She's like, okay, you guys are ready? Yep, we'll go. We sit down, we order our drinks and everything. We already made an impression with the waiter as soon as we walked in because we're in there laughing, joking around. The waiter just caught our vibe, you know? And at this time I was drinking alcohol. So we ordered a bunch of, like, lemon drops. I don't want to hear nothing about that. Those are my favorite.
I love lemon drops.
Yeah.
Loved. I too am not drinking as of now.
They're terrible. Don't ever order that stuff. So we order a couple rounds. The waiter has one with us. He treats us on one round. We're vibing, like, we're going in. Here comes her sister and her walking in. And I look at her, I'm like, and then her sister, I've never met her sister before. Her sister, she's like, oh, you guys already ordered food without us? I'm like, nice to meet you too, you know? And she was like, and then the girl I was with, she was behind her, you know? I was like, why are you letting her even talk to me like this? You know, she don't even know me. Like, you know who I am. Like, why are you? And then she was like, she said something to me on the lines of like you're a bitch or like you're a lowlife or something. I said, what the fuck? Grab my fucking glass water, and
No.
You know me, no hesitation. Grab it, and I go to throw it at her. And as soon as I go to throw it, the waiter grabs me. He's like, man, bro, don't even do that to yourself. Watch this. Calls it in, 2 bouncers come in, grab them, and drag them out the Versace Mansion. And you know, have you ever been there?
No.
So there's a pool, and you gotta walk through the whole entire. And he's like dragging, and she's cussing, and like so embarrassed. And we're there vibing, like still like going out.
Oh my God.
So that's what happens, but it gets worse. She tells me, she's like, I respected it because she's like, you know, that was so embarrassing, but you're right though. Like, I should have never let my sister try to like belittle you. Like, she doesn't know what we have, you know?
Okay.
I was like, all right, I'm gonna see you in Colombia, because after we were supposed to go to Colombia to meet her mom and stuff. So I get to Colombia. I have friends over there in Colombia that are like in the industry, so like they want to meet up with me a couple of days, blah blah blah. So we get there, and then I'm like, hey, listen, I'm going to dinner with some people. And she knows some people in the music industry too that she was trying to connect me with, because I had an artist I was working with, Kylo.
Right.
And she's like, hey, I want to connect you with these people, like, so you guys can all work together, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, no problem. So I was like, but I have a meeting with some songwriters at this restaurant. You come there. She came, and all the guys are telling me the songwriter. I've never met these guys before.
Okay.
Like, and they're all telling me, like, bro, like, she's giving off bad vibes. Like, you have such a different energy compared to her. Like, why are you with her, bro? Like, this is Medellin, papi. Like, you're in the capital of the most beautiful people in the world. Like, these women are dying over it for you. Why are you even settling for her? She's not even that attractive. She's like, she has such a bad aura. She has such a bad, like, energy to her. Why are you settling for this? And I'm just looking like, I was like, who y'all I don't even know y'all. Like, why y'all even talking to me? And especially about her.
Yeah.
But they're so reckless. They were telling me in front of her. And she's just quiet there, like, mm-hmm. And then I was like, I didn't get it. I didn't care, because I'm tuning them out. Nobody has, any of that. I go back to my Airbnb, because she has an apartment there. I go back to the Airbnb with my boys, because I want to stay with them. I'm sitting at the edge of the bed, and I'm thinking about all this stuff. I'm like, I can't believe this stuff. I can't believe this stuff. I was like, okay. I really prayed on it heavy. Like, I prayed on it heavy. And I was like, God, please make it clear to me if this girl's for me or not for me.
Okay.
And like, I was like, I'm gonna do whatever it takes to make sure this relationship, I'm doing my part. So I deleted all the numbers of the girls. I blocked every girl on Instagram. I removed, unfollowed all the pictures of my ex-girlfriends I've had. All the pictures of girls, deleted everything. My phone was pure. I can throw it out anywhere, anytime. It was cleansed from anything that could possibly, cause an issue. And I was like sitting there. I was like, all right, I've never checked her phone in 2 years. Like, we were almost together for 2 years. Never checked her phone. I was like, all right, tonight I'm gonna just check her phone just to give myself a piece of mind. Oh, like, you don't understand. Like, listen,
stories never end well.
It's so bad. Like, I'm telling you, like, now you can understand why I went through so much, like, anger, in a sense of anger towards women, like, in general. Like, I was infuriated. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna go to her house, and God, like, please make it very clear to me, like, clear as day. Like, you stupid if you don't see this clear. I get there, first thing is like, we started, doing our thing, and then she was like, this might be a little too much. Fuck it.
We'll see. Okay. If it's too much, we'll go back in there.
She was like, on my face.
Oh God, maybe this is too much.
And I was like,
you're like an older sibling to me. So when you say something like that, I'm like,
okay.
What if we bleep that? What if we bleep it, but like you said it, and
yeah, let's do that.
But let's bleep that.
All right, so I'll just reward it. So I was like, all right, make it clear as day to me. So like, we got into it, like, I got there, and we started, getting romantic and doing our things. And she made such an unpleasant comment that she said to me. And I was like, wow, like, I would never want to do that to my wife or the mother of my kids. That's like a low thing. That's something you do, kind of in a sense, degrade to women, in a sense to like feel like superior or something. And I was like, ugh, like, why would you want me to do that to you? Like,
Yeah.
And this was supposed to be like, we weren't like after a party drunk or wild, and like, we had a beautiful conversation. We
were sober, and she's asking for this.
And we were sober. It was so romantic. Like, her apartment is beautiful, like crazy lights. And I'm like, bro, like, what the heck? I don't want the mother of my kids to be like this on some, I was like, gross to me. I was like, ugh. So I lay there, and I was like, I promise you, I'm like holding the blanket, like traumatized. I'm like,
why do you want me to do
what is this? I promise you. Now, and I was like, all right, that's sign one. That's pretty clear. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was like, but you know what? Let me push this shit. God, I know, like, come on, man. Like, don't let me down. Everything else. I look at her, I said, let me see your phone. She said, okay.
Wait, that was your response after she requests something from you?
Because I was like,
wait, let me see your phone.
Well, let me show you what I did. So So like, you know, when you can go to your,
You're insane.
so like, you know, when you can go, but remember on the, oh, maybe right here. Okay. So you know, when you go on your pictures on the iPhone, right?
Yeah.
People typically go like this, right? Well, this is what I did. I went like this. I saw her whole thing like this for like, and she's like, what are you doing? She grabs my phone, but I'm sharp. I see on her phone a picture with a dude. And I was like, well, who's this? And she's like, oh, no, that's just my friend. Now, keep in mind, every culture is a little different.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Where I'm from, it's not usual or common for a man and woman just to be friends. I know in Colombia, that's very common. It's very normal.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also very common and normal for women to call their guy friends, bebe, amor, like, you know what I mean? All these things, like, you know, very, very intimate and very affectionate way, you know, speaking to each other, which I get it. Like, I'm all for that.
Each their own. Yeah.
Right,
Everyone
right.
has a different form of communication.
Right. But I told her, like, nah, fuck that. Like, when you're with me, I don't want none of that. No man should ever hear those words out your mouth towards him. Affect me. Call it whatever you want. I don't care. Like,
I agree, because
you know
my boyfriend has female friends, but like if they called him that, I would tweak.
Right. I don't care where it's normal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Unless it's
no.
like, yes, unless it's coming from my partner to my partner, I don't want to hear none of that. So I was like, okay, like, I was like, listen, be cool with that. Like, I don't like that, you know? But that's like also like, this is where it kind of is like, it's a gray area, because it's like guys would call each other like poppy, like, you know.
Right, that's true.
So it's like,
That's true.
it's such a
Cultural thing.
cultural thing.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, or like handsome, like, hey, handsome, like, you know. Anyways, so I was like, who's this guy? She's like, oh, just my friend. But the pictures they took are kind of like sus. Like, you can't tell.
Gray area.
Yeah,
Gray
she has her
area.
hand on her lower waist. I'm like, hold on, like, right. And she's like, oh, like, no, like, that's normal. Like, you can see. I'm like, yeah, because I've seen some guys with their sister take a picture like that, which is still a gray area for me, but whatever, I get it. Let that slide. I was like, all right, she's cool. I was like, but let me see your phone again. She was like, no, like, you're being weird. You're being crazy right now. I said, you got two options. You're going to let me see your phone, or I'm going to leave. She's like, okay, fine, here, take the phone. But she's like hawking over the phone, like next to me. So I take it, and I'm like, you know, I'm a little extra. So I turn to my side and I start going through it. And so happenly, I go to the time she had gotten pregnant. Now, I'm not saying what you think I'm saying,
What
but
are you saying? Tell us.
she was with another dude. And I was like, hold on, wait a second. I started thinking everything in my head. Like, you know, I gave her the phone and I was like, oh my God. I was like, she took the phone away from me. And I was like stuck there. I was like,
A fly just
he's even like, I can't believe this.
joined. No, this fly just like fell on its back.
He's probably, yeah, I know. Cause he's like, I can't believe this.
Scared.
But anyways.
Yeah, continue.
So I sat there or laid there in the bed. I was just thinking in my head, like, wow, like, did she really get pregnant by me, or did she say this? And I started putting two and two together. Like, okay, makes sense why I didn't go to the hospital with her. Did she have an abortion because the guy, then this and that? And now it's like all these thoughts were going through my head. And like, it started building up rage, like in my body, in my mind, in my heart. And I looked at her, I was like, all right, give me your phone right now, or I'm out of here. She's like, no, leave. I said, all right. I get up. I start putting on my clothes. She's like, no, like, here, look at my phone. I said, nah, it's already too late, you know? And keep in mind, I'm in Colombia, you know? And I'm leaving and she grabs my sweater. Like, she never put her hands on me. I never put my hands on her. She grabbed my sweater. I'm like, man, watch out. Like, you know, like, watch out. Get off me. And then she grabs, like, she tries to grab my sweater, but she scratches my neck. So I grab her hand and she's like, here's the phone. I take the phone and I'm just like, man, I don't even want this shit. And I throw the phone and she goes to grab it, falls, busts her head open. Gets worse. She starts yelling out the window like I hit her. Help, help. I'm like standing there like, I'm not going anywhere. But then I was like, oh my God, I know her family. I know how rich they are. I know how successful they are. I know how powerful they are here. I'm out of here. I jump off the second floor.
Girl.
I'm out of there. I'm running. I see the police coming. I'm like, oh my, because in Colombia, every building, like especially nice buildings, they have like police in front, you know, securities and all that kind of stuff.
You were fine jumping off the second floor? Like, were you?
Listen, my heart was so much adrenaline. I was scared for my life because I was like, everything, my music career just popped off. Like, I got to sign all these contracts. I got music tour. And the next day I had a music camp. So I'm like, oh my God, all this is happening. I can't, there's no way. I finally get back to the my boys. I tell them what happened. They're like, all right, like don't worry, like we know some people, like let us call. You know, they call some people, and then, you know, I told them what happened, and they're like, don't worry about that. Like my people are a little bit more than her people. You know what I'm saying? Luckily, but where I'm going with this whole story is it created so many insecurities, so many traumas, so many things in my heart and my mind. I second guessed everything in a relationship. Like it became so bad, like disgusting. I remember my last relationship, she brought during like the holidays, she brought like flowers and everything for me and my friend. And I was like, why'd you bring this to me? Like, did some guy give you this to you and you don't want it and you're passing it on?
Oh,
bro, it was that bad. Like, I'm telling you, like,
that is bad.
it was this. That's why I had so many issues. Remember, like, I would tell you, like, hey, this is what I'm thinking about. You're like, what the hell is
Yeah, like, why did your brain even go there? But yeah,
now you understand
somewhere.
So that's what happened in my last relationship. And that's where I made the biggest mistake going into another relationship because I didn't heal. Without being, so that's where I'm like now, right now, I'm taking a journey on myself to heal myself and prepare myself before I get into another relationship or even entertain another woman.
Yeah.
Because I have to continue to heal myself and I'm still not healed.
Yeah.
So.
And you know how different the world would be if people had that self-awareness. And I'm sure we're all ashamed of certain things of our past and we're just like, why, who, you know, but the important thing is just to face it head on. And that's what you're doing. And I definitely applaud you for that because sometimes when we fuck up, it's so easy to just dwell on the fact that we fucked up, but not just accept like, hey, I fucked up. You do, he does, we all do, you know?
Right.
And when you can just accept it for the fact that we're human and we're just learning day by day, and the fact that the only power we have is just to not repeat those mistakes, then you're in the clear.
Right.
And like so much of the world would be healed if more people learn to just take a step back. Because every experience, either you grow or you get traumatized, like A or B, right?
Right.
And when people get traumatized, sometimes they don't even know they went through that trauma. They don't even know how to process the emotions because I feel like a lot of people just aren't like emotionally intelligent.
I definitely was I was definitely not emotionally intelligent.
Yeah.
I was far from it. I couldn't control my emotions. So I own up to that, but I'm working on that.
Yeah.
It's better and better every day. But you know, something I want to tell you too, Drea, like people love differently.
Yeah.
Something you got to understand. And people communicate differently. And people argue differently. My last relationship, she would want to think about things and talk about it the next day or later on or in the proper setting or something. Me, right there, right now. I don't care what we got going on. And it caused a lot of issues where I would try to like get it out of her response.
Yeah.
And she was so like control of her emotions and herself, and she was true to herself. She knew how to navigate that without letting me get to her.
Yeah.
And I hated it, but I applaud her, you know, to this day. So all that being said, it's like, understand people's way of communicating. Some people need a moment to think about things. It's nothing personal. It's just what they need, you know.
Absolutely.
Everyone's different.
Yeah. And it's just a matter, I think that's why the dating period is so important. And it's so important for people to be honest during the dating period because it's like we can't date and you put up this persona and then now we're like deep in and that's not even who you were.
Who are you?
You know?
Yeah. Also, like I told myself like this, I'm gonna approach dating completely differently.
Okay.
I'm gonna go in a 360. Like before, how can I get this girl to my house before? Like what's the fastest way to get in those, you know?
Yeah.
Now it's like, what's the fastest way I can determine if she's for me or not? I'm talking about like, you're not coming to my place. I'm not coming to your place. We're not going to do anything that can cause intimacy for the first 30 days.
Okay.
If I'm still into this girl after those 30 days, okay, then she's on a step 2. Step 2 is like, okay, we can get a little bit more intimate as in like experiences. Like for example, building a puzzle. Because when you build a puzzle with somebody, it really tests you in different ways, you know.
Or crazy Lego.
Exactly. Something like the challenges the mind so you can see how they behave in stressful situations. Do they let you lead? Do they know how to follow? It doesn't have to be a puzzle. It can be whatever it is. Or building some furniture together. Like do something different. Like I'm all about being different now.
It's a good one.
Also, like I'm going to ask the tough questions at the beginning. Are you healed from your traumas? Do you still have issues with your ex? Do you still miss your ex? And if you do, it's okay. Doesn't mean I'm going to walk away out of your life, because I still miss my ex dearly. I think about her almost every day. Doesn't mean I necessarily want to be back with her again.
Right.
So it's just like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. So it's like, be 110% transparent. Like, who cares about anything else? You know, let it just float, you know?
Yeah, I like that. I think that's a great way to wrap this up. I
Yeah.
think that's like you really left me and the audience with things to just like think about and reflect on. I do want to know if you want to share like one last thing, maybe some advice to the people, advice to your younger self, just one last thing that you want to share with the world.
One thing I would just probably say is, remember, you're not perfect. Like, you got some issues, and figure out what they are. You know, if you're being mean to somebody, or like, understand your actions, like why you did things, and truly dig deep. You can lie to me, I can lie to you, but I can't lie to myself. So don't lie to yourself, dig deep and grow from that.
I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming by.
Of course.
It was absolutely wonderful to catch up in this setting. And I'm definitely taking that home. Make a snack board when I get home.
Absolutely.
Do you want to let the people know where they could find you? If you want to share your social media?
No, I'm off social media. I took all that off. I'm all that. I'm in the moment.
There we go. I just wanted to give you the space just in case you wanted to. But yeah, well.
You know what? Before we do leave, I actually, you know what? I forgot to tell you, I did start a mental health group.
Okay.
It's called Nova, Mental Health Awareness, and we're going to be doing documentaries.
Oh, that's so cool.
Based on like people's mental health. Like, people don't know everyone know what first place feels like. Nobody know what second place feels like.
Yeah. So, and do you have any reference on where we could find that, or where?
I'll get back to you on that. I just don't. I'm not ready yet, because I'm at the point now where I'm kind of really taking my time with things.
Yeah,
before,
absolutely.
You know how I was before.
Yeah. I know. If you need any help with that, you can reach out to me and we can figure out anything that we have to do. But stay out on the lookout for that. Thank you guys so much for joining us on the Playroom podcast. I'm your host, Dre Goldie, and until next time.
There it is.
Woo!
The Playroom podcast. Don't panic, it's organic.